Good morning and welcome to the Culm Valley Leisure Centre here in Cullompton on election night itself, and we're about to find out which of the 5 Tiverton and Honiton candidates has got the job in Westminster. And those 5 candidates who were anxiously waiting while the votes were being counted were former MEP Neil Parish, who hopes to replace Angela Browning as Conservative Member of Parliament here, Dr Jon Underwood, who has been inundated with support and was hoping that the Clegg-mania would rub off in the votes, first-time candidate and ex-policeman Vernon Whitlock for Labour, the youngest candidate, 23-year-old Darryl Stanbury, who hoped to come third in the polls ahead of Labour, and finally Cathy Connor, the Green candidate, who was the last person to put a name forward for the election race in Tiverton and Honiton. As the votes were counted and placed in groups of 25 in the corresponding trays, the candidates could only look on and wait. Eventually all the votes were totted up one by one, and the returning officer Kevin Finan was able to read out the results at around 3:30 in the morning. Turnout was high this year, with 71.5%, up 2% on 2005.
For the election of a Member of Parliament for the Tiverton and Honiton constituency on Thursday, the 6th of May 2010. I, Kevin Finan, being the acting returning officer at the above election, do hereby give notice the number of votes recorded for each candidate at the said election are as follows. Connor Cathy Diane, Green Party, 802. The Conservative Party candidate, 27,614. Stanbury Darryl Phillip, UK Independence Party, 3,277. Underwood John, Liberal Democrat, 18,294. Whitlock Vernon, the Labour Party candidate, 4,907. Neil Parish is duly elected. Thank you.
Mr. Returning Officer, can I first of all thank all the staff and the counters for the excellent way they've counted the votes. They obviously got them to the right number. Well done. Thank you very much. Can I thank all of those that worked in the polling stations throughout the day for all the hard work they put in. Can I also thank the police for making sure there were no riots during the election. I don't think they had too many problems here in Tiverton Honiton. Can I also pay tribute to my wife, first of all, who has always been a great support to me and hopefully will carry on to be so. I'm not going to mention everybody by name, but I do want to mention Phil Twist in particular, my agent, who has done such a good job. Also Timothy Jenkins, and like I say, can I thank all councillors and all helpers, because like I say, I won't mention you all by name because it's tremendous help. Now, can I say to my opponents, first of all to John, I think, and all my opponents come to that, I think we have fought an extremely good and clean campaign here. I think we've probably had the most hustings of virtually any constituency in the country. We didn't fall out personally, and I think we conducted ourselves in a truly democratic way. So can I offer you my commiserations, John, I'm very humbled at the support I've been given, because it's lovely to get a clear majority of over 9,000, and so I'm looking forward to going to Westminster to represent all the people of Tiverton and Honiton, whether they come from Seaton, whether they come from Bampton, whether they come from the countryside, or whether they come from the towns. It's just lovely to represent a constituency like this.
The seat is known as a safe seat. Was it ever in doubt?
Well, when the Clegg Mania took place, you know, 3 weeks ago, I thought the whole world had gone completely mad, and I thought, my God, I could lose this seat. But in the end, people put their support behind us, and to get 27,000 votes, I was really very pleased, because Angela's majority was about 11,000, and so 9,000 is probably very similar, because the boundary changes sort of knock that back slightly.
So what would be your message to the 28,000 people who voted for you today?
Well, hopefully you can trust me to stand up for this constituency. Let's get a fair deal for Devon, let's get a fair deal for Tiverton Honiton, Seaton, Branscombe Beer, Tiverton Honiton, all these places, Bampton, and you know, I said all along, you know, we not only do you want hopefully a Conservative member of Parliament, you also want somebody who will stand up and be counted. And I think one of the phrases I used in Young Farmers, I used to be told, stand up, speak up, and shut up. Well, I will stand up, speak up, and keep speaking up.
Slightly disappointed, to be honest. A couple of weeks ago I thought we'd do rather better than that, but then again 6 weeks ago I thought we might do rather worse, so I guess it swings and roundabouts.
And what do you think, looking at it nationally, the night's gone for the Liberal Democrats as a whole?
I think it's been very disappointing, to be honest. I mean, if you'd have looked at the opinion polls over the last 3 weeks, we've done significantly worse than I thought was possible, to be perfectly honest. I mean, it looks like we're going to have about the same number of seats.
So what next for Jon Underwood?
Probably too early to call that one. I think we need to wait. I need to have a lot of sleep before I decide what I'm going to do next, but I'm still very interested in politics. I still believe that the Liberal Democrats are offering something different to this country and something that it badly needs, and I will continue to fight for that.
And what would be your message to the 18,000 people that voted for you here tonight?
Well, same as my message to myself, better luck next time. Next time it could all be so different.
First time I've stood for election. I mean, when you start off, you just see that empty tray, and when one vote comes in there, you think, yes, we're okay. So yes, I'm very pleased. I'm very pleased. Certainly, you know, with the way that the government proceeded at the moment, to actually get them that amount of votes in this area, yes, I'm pleased.
And what have you made of it nationally so far tonight?
It's been difficult to actually sort of catch up with it, really, but I mean, overall, what I'm obviously thrilled to bits with is that Ben Bradshaw's got back in Exeter, so a lot of our folks have been going in there, working their socks off to keep him there, and that's great news for us.
And what next for the Labour Party and yourself here in Tiverton and Honiton?
Well, I think it's... Well, I'll tell you what surprised me is going round is the number of Labour voters that are out there. You know, I was going around not expecting to have that amount of support, but the number of people have been coming up, so I think it's actually building on that base we've got now, ready for the next election, which of course might be this coming year, still in this year.
Well, I'm very glad I got my deposit back. I mean, we've got 1,000 more votes than we did in the last general election, about 8% of the vote, which again is a massive increase from what we got last time here, so we didn't get our deposit back. Slightly disappointed that I didn't overtake Labour into third place. Our overall target was to break into the main three. Fortunately, just didn't do that, but I'm still happy with the deposit, to be honest, and it's an increase in the vote, which is what matters.
Still only at the start of your political career, what next for Darryl Stanbury?
I honestly don't know, actually. I mean, I came through to this not expecting too much, to be honest. Most of the candidates and Neil Parish themselves have all said that I've done quite a good job. Possibly I'll be looking to move into the party a bit further, possibly become like a political researcher within Europe, I'm not too sure. But I honestly, doors have opened and I'll just take them whenever they come, to be honest.
I'd like to congratulate Neil, well done, and I hope he will do an excellent job because he will also be my MP. I'd like to thank all the other candidates as well. We have got along very well on this hustings, on this campaign, and we even car shared sometimes. So hopefully green issues will come to the forefront.
Following the result, losing candidates and reporters were able to head home to see how the rest of the election would pan out nationwide. The Conservative campaigners, however, took some time to savour the moment with an alcoholic beverage.
Hi.
Cheers, Neil.
Cheers.
Well done, that man.
Yeah. Cheers, you. Cheers. Are you not having any beer, you ladies? No, that's a very good result.
That's the end of the election here in Tiverton and Honiton, and what better way to celebrate than our own constituency brewed beer, Branscombe Vale, which I'm sure is going down very well. Not much time for celebration though before getting back to the harsh reality of life in Parliament, but I'm sure, as you can see, they're glad they're there. I'm Lewis Clark reporting from Lewis News at Cullompton.